Welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my experiences at AWS reInvent in 2019. Half of this video is going to be teaching and sharing what I learned in my classes that I attended. The other half of this video will be the entertainment portion of the venues, the parties, and the registration process in case you haven't been to reInvent. At the time of this recording, it's been a week after the event and the slides and the videos have not yet been released. However, during the event, a lot of the hands-on projects were available on GitHub, which I'll put in a README and share in the link description below. All right, let's get started. I'll give you a day by day in the life of an AWS reInvent experience.
Here's a couple photos of my flight arriving in Las Vegas.
Have made it to Las Vegas. I don't have much story to say, other than I've arrived.
Here's a photo of the MGM Grand.
Here is at the registration booth here. This is where you go in to get your photo ID and just sign in. And then if you have any questions, head over to the booth. That's registration. Now I'm gonna go eat and then get ready for the Sunday night Midnight Madness. We'll head there next. And then you get this badge with this, I guess, tracker or something. The guy at the help desk said it wasn't really anything tied to your name. It was just a way to see if people were getting transported around in the events properly. Who knows? Kind of suspicious to me. Now I'd like to show you a little bit of my agenda, what I'm gonna be talking about throughout the week, just what to expect in this video and what I'm going to be sharing. So I'm gonna jump into the AWS Events app. You can get that from the App Store. Just walk you through some of that, what's on my agenda and what you can expect. Now we're into the AWS Events app, and really what you want to look at is the catalog and the planner. So if you look at the catalog, this is basically everything that they have to offer. Here's all the different filtering types, so you can do days of the week, etc. Once you find something, generally you'll do this about 2 months. You'll do this in October and you'll fill your planner. But if things change, if you're at the event and you want to cancel or add, this is the place to go. Then over here in your planner, this is really what you're going to look at day to day from your schedule. So on the left you have what's reserved, and on the right is maybe a waiting list or something that you're potentially going to go to if you have the time to make it. Over here, let's go skip over to Monday. Over here you can see, and the first thing I'm going to be doing is a session. Over here on the right is on the waiting list, so I probably won't be attending that one. And then over here another workshop, and then over here on the right. So here you do not have to reserve, so they're like a welcome reception, meals and etc. So that's kind of a kickoff to the event. So it looks like that for each day, and really what I'm looking at is about 7 of these or so that I'm going to be talking about. Here on the right we have a keynote, and then down here on the right is a boot camp, which there is a bug that I did ask them at the help desk. I was able to reserve both a workshop over the top of a boot camp. They're going to work on that. I'm going to drop those classes. Basically, I'm going to have one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then some kind of event. Like here, for example, here's a couple events that I'm going to attend. You don't need RSVPs. That'll fill up my schedule. All right, so I look forward to sharing my feedback on each of these sessions, and it should be a great time.
Standing in line in the shuttle, and a picture of me in the shuttle.
This is Midnight Madness. All right, welcome. We're at the event. Let's take a look around. I guess there's going to be 7,000 people at this one. 2-hour performance. I'm going to call it good for the Midnight Madness. Here's my free shirt that I got. It's cool swag. Just finished with the workout. There's a quick view of the gym here at the MGM. Went for a quick run. All reality, if you're here, you're gonna do a lot of walking. Even if you shuttle, the casinos are so large here that even within the casinos, you're gonna do probably over a mile a day or more. I'm gonna wrap up the gym and I'm gonna head and get ready for my first class. I'll see you on the way there. Oh, and one other mention, there's 60,000 people, Andy said at the conference. I'm already couple minutes late to my session. Left 40 minutes early and the shuttle took 40 minutes. And you're supposed to be there 10 minutes before or they lose your seats. We are going to see if I still have it. So I'm a couple minutes away. Let's see what it's like. And let me give you a short intro of the class I'm attending. Here is the class. It's called Finding a Needle in a Haystack Using AI to Transform Content Management for an hour session. So if I get in, I will let you know how it goes. I just finished up with the finding a needle in a haystack in digital content, which is really great. There was 3 speakers, 2 from Amazon, 1 from a company called FINRA, which is a use case. So AWS basically explained the tools that they provide that allow us to sort through data, like SageMaker and others, which I have some slides which I'll share. So many people here. All right, so FINRA is a company that handles security information of stock exchange. They said like 401ks, 529 accounts, like T. Rowe Price and Voya, I think were some of them. I'm not sure all of them. But basically what they do is they handle the security and compliance, and they were sorting through data, emails especially, trying to signal out the noise, compress it down to get rid of all of the extra email that wasn't necessary, like the Amazon orders, Google updates, or that type of stuff. They sort it out, and then they filter based on metadata of your email headers, and then compress it down to useful information that they can then process through machine learning algorithms. So really they just demonstrated a few different products that I'll show on the slides. Yeah, that was about it for sorting content. They partner with Alfresco. It was only an hour session, so I didn't get a lot out of it, but it was informational. We're at the Venetian level 3. All right, it's just after 11. I have not had breakfast, so I'm gonna go down and get lunch. They serve a lunch in each venue from 11 to 1:30. That's a buffet style. Just go pick it up and then head on over to my next session at the Mirage. So I'll give you an update on that one before I go. Looks like you have 2 options. You have lunch buffet, hot lunch, or go. So if you're in a hurry, there's that convenience. I'm gonna hit up the lunch buffet. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I get some better food than chips and sandwiches.
Here's what I had for lunch on the first day.
The meal, it was delicious. The salad was my favorite. Here's a short clip of the buffet hall. I'm here at the exhibit booth. I guess the exhibit hall is not open till Monday at 4 p.m. right behind me there. I did stop and get some swag, so I got a sweatshirt and a bottle. I don't know how much swag I'm going to get. There's plenty of vendors. They are going to give your email for marketing. I would just be careful on who you give that to. This one is with Amazon, so I'm not sure they're going to market me much. Anyway.
Here's a couple photos on my way over to the Mirage.
This is what the reserved queue over here and then the waiting queue looks like for one of the sessions. And it's a half an hour before it starts. I have arrived at the Mirage and I'm going to be attending my first workshop here, which is Accelerate Time Series Forecasting with Amazon Forecast. Workshops are 2 hours and 15 minutes. Basically, it's using time series algorithm to prepare and do analytics on data sets in summary. So it's more of an advanced class. Hopefully it's hands-on. We got a couple different speakers. Just finished up on the time series workshop. It was about 2 hours. Just to recap, 30 minutes of it was lecture, 30 minutes of QA, and an hour of hands-on Python notebook, which I can share that. Basically where we run through a data set. It's about 6 different parts, and really what we're trying to do is different predictions based on products. So that could be a new product, existing product, unpredictable products. So trying to do predictions on data sets of what Amazon sells as an example, and then running a time series algorithms using AR. I think it's called ARML. Corrections to my previous comments. The model they used was called Deep AR. Running that algorithm on it. So we got to run in the lab. It'll probably take more time to understand it. It was pretty brief. We had 2 presenters, and then we had about 6 different people that helped us out if we got stuck on a problem. So, and then also there was about 100 people in the workshop. Pretty big place. So we did get a sufficient amount of help. It was more an advanced class, so it got pretty deep pretty quickly. It was a lot of fun. So that's wrapped up for that one. Now I'm headed back to Venetian. I'm going to go to the reception. It's kind of the welcome reception, so if people are just arriving, it's on Monday. A lot of people come in on Monday, and this is kind of the kickoff. That's for a few hours, I think just meal and drinks and activity. So I'll kind of give you a preview of that there. It is packed here. Waiting in line for the welcome reception. There is a ton of people here. This is what the reception looks like, or the expo center with all the booths. There's over 1,000 vendors here, at least. All right, I'm gonna walk around, see if I can find anything interesting.
So today we have the keynote by AWS CEO Andy Jassy. Unfortunately, I was not able to get into the main keynote. I registered, so they open this up like the first week of November. This is after they open registration for classes, and you have to reserve a seat in the keynotes because they're so popular. And unfortunately, I did not get into the main keynote. I'll be going to an overflow room in another MGM, so we'll see how that goes. Andy usually gives product launches in the keynote, which is pretty exciting. It was the main one that I wanted to go to. It's on Tuesday morning for 3 hours. So I'm not sure what he's going to talk about for 3 hours, but these are available online and live streaming as well. Pretty excited. We'll see how that goes. We are at the keynote here, Overflow. You can see what that looks like. Not as good as the original. There is probably 1,000 people here compared to like 5,000, but it is what it is. Hopefully it's a good one. Yeah, we have 2 big screens, 3 sections. There you go. Just finished up with the keynote. It was really exciting. See all the people exiting. So the great thing about Andy Jassy's keynote is he always announces a ton of products, 20 or 30 plus of the products, and there's generally like 300 a year. It was really exciting to recap. They're making their own chips. They're doing a lot of space and machine learning. They talked about 5G. There's a ton of just enthusiasm. The event, 3 hours, so a lot of information. If you're gonna watch it, I would check it out. The stream that's available for everyone. Try to turn up the speed to 2x and save some time that way. But being in person is pretty great. It's not probably as good as if you were at the main keynote, but still there's a lot of people there to bring the energy to the keynote. I'll add some resources on where you can find that keynote. In the afternoon, I have a machine learning bootcamp, which I'm going to we'll talk about on the way there. All right, we walked into a little bit of a surprise today. Over on my left, we have Pete Rose, right there. You can see him. He's signing autographs. Pretty awesome. I should go get an autograph. Pay my respects. Headed into my boot camp session. I pay $225 to register. If you're ever late registering and you can't find any sessions that you want, one option is to pay for additional sessions. This is a boot camp. It's 4 hours long, 1 to 5. It's about machine learning, so it gets you ready for an exam for AWS machine learning. So you can see the description here. Machine learning, deep learning, solutions. It's an advanced level class. See you in about 4 hours, my time. For the machine learning certification is actually pretty popular. After most sessions of the machine learning classes, they recommend you take the certification. Just got out of the boot camp. That was 4 hours, a long session, over 280 slides of content, and it was a lot of information to absorb. Basically, I'll try to summarize. It helped us prepare for the exam, so it told you what to expect, questions like that. Didn't include the exam, and also the material I don't think is going to be available. We had material that we could take on our own, but it's not available publicly, so I don't think there's going to be slide content to share outside. It covered 5 domains, like deploying algorithms, infrastructure. I don't remember all of them, and then a couple sections on preparing you for the exam. It was really good. One of my favorite sessions. Highly recommend joining one of those. There was no actual hands-on. It was mostly just a lecture, one person talking, going through a ton of slide content. There was solutions, architectures, and concepts, no code. Practice quizzes, which they said is a good indicator. If you did well on those quizzes, you would do well on the exam. Not depending on how well you study, but how well you did on the quiz. I'd say that's about it. Wish there would have been a little more hands-on. I think if you would take a builder workshop, you would have more hands-on session. Now I have a company-sponsored event that I'm going to go to. I'll share you some more with that. At the event, this is what it looks like. Absolutely packed. The whole place. Here's the session for this morning, 8:30. It looks like a ton of fun. It's called AWS Deep Racer. We have a couple speakers. It's a workshop, 2.5 hour intermediate. And the most fun, it looks like we were going to build a model. Reinforcement learning to build a racer on tracks. I think they've advertised this. It's pretty popular out externally of people building their racer to go around a track. Looks like a pretty good line here, 100 people.
It's going to be close to 0 when it's going to the right, 180 when it's going to the left, etc. Track. So if one of the wheels goes off the track, it's going to be false. Now, there are some rules to racing in Deep Racer, and
Here's a example of the simulation of the car that I built. And here's another view of the simulation. I just finished up the workshop for the Deep Racer. This was my favorite so far. I know I keep saying that, it just keeps getting better. This was a hands-on workshop where we created a reinforcement model for the Deep Racer car, and this is one of those autonomous cars that's 1/18th size small model car that you race on a track. So what we did was we got some credits, and you could do this as well. It costs about $4, or you can get a free tier by signing up. And then you train a reinforcement model, and then you run and it trains and it shows you the simulation environment of going around a track. And I got up to 96%, but it hadn't finished training. It takes about an hour to train, and you can go and make changes to your model. It was a blast. Hopefully I'll get some time to go take it on the track. You can transfer your model over onto USB stick and go race it in real life. So they have 3 types of races. They have one where you just try to go around the track on time. Then they have a new car they're building next year that will do object detection and head-to-head racing. That's not available. You can simulate it now, and if you want to buy the car, it's like $400. If you don't, just simulate it and then try it here if you're at the event. That was my favorite event. You got to do a little bit of coding on the model. They give you some example code, and you could write some of your own as well. Take a look at the tracks if you can see right there. There's 6 of them with the Deep Racer. I have to try my training model out here. Looks like a blast. Here's my next session. It is build training data sets with SageMaker. A lot of the classes I signed up for were machine learning, and this is a 60-minute session. Essentially, this reduces the cost and complexity using accuracy and reduced human effort. Best practices in SageMaker. Just finished the SageMaker Ground Truth session, and I learned quite a bit. I didn't know what Ground Truth was about. So SageMaker is the machine learning platform service. Ground Truth is a way to better label your data. So a lot of time we spend labeling our images. Ground Truth has helped automate that. So for example, if you're going to label an image and select what's in the image, like it's an animal, for example. Previously, you had to do that manually, which took a lot of time, a lot of take. So they have an auto segmentation feature that you can select the top, left, right, and bottom, and then it will automatically select your image for you. That was a quick session, and on to the next. Here's the next session. It is building an Alexa skill with Cakewalk. This is a little over 2-hour workshop, and we're basically going to be building an Alexa skill that sings happy birthday to a customer on their birthday. And it's going to use something called Happy Path. I'm not sure what that is. Hopefully I'll learn about that. And then S3 for storing it. Here's what the workshop looks like. We got finished up with building an Alexa skill, and I learned a few things. So we built an app called Cakewalk, which is essentially a way to ask for your birthday, store it, and then either do 2 things: wish you a happy birthday on your birthday, or give you a countdown when your birthday is. We used what's called Happy Path. It's a new logic rather than process diagram. It's kind of a storyboard where you put different responses. So Happy Path is the ideal responses from a user. If they ask, for example, when is your birthday, and you say November 7th, 1983, not my birthday, by the way, then that's perfect. It can store that. But if you miss a character, then you have to make an interactive response or a conversation to ask for either the day or the month or the year. So it was really awesome. They also gave us more credits. So now I'm up to $55 in AWS free credits, which is pretty amazing. So this was a great demo. It was some slides, but mostly hands-on. We spent a lot of the time going through a demo, which I can share. It's publicly available for anyone to run through. It was 5 modules, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. All right, that was the end of that session. Alexa skill. All right, on to the next. Here I stopped by a fun and exciting maker's booth with a candy robot, and they had plenty others. Here I'm throwing in a little extra entertainment value. Here's my next course. It's a workshop. It's Cluster Adverse Events with Amazon Comprehend Medical and Amazon SageMaker. This one's also a workshop, and we're going to be doing some predictive analysis with drugs, side effects, and symptoms. This is quite interesting. Maybe it's because Amazon is now getting in the healthcare industry. Just finished up with the medical machine learning workshop. This was a 2-hour workshop. Basically, they provided us with 3 IPython notebooks. They give us what's called burner accounts, which we can log into the console and run
SageMaker and the Python notebooks from there. It was basically 2 hours. We went through the notebooks ourselves. It was really great on the comments. There was 80 lines of code with different comments about what each line was doing. And to give you an overview, it was about medical data. So if you take symptoms of prescription drugs, of one drug, what is the symptoms, side effects, and then compare it to other drugs with similar side effects. Can you group those drugs together? That was really what they were problem they were trying to solve, is just grouping different drugs together. We got to work on them ourselves. Then they walked through each one of them and told us what they were about, and then we wrapped it up. Partly hands-on and partly being able to see it. We didn't really write any of our own code, just reviewed the code they had provided and the data. That's the end of today's session. So it's been a long day. I've had 4 sessions, 3 workshop, 1 talking session. I got 1 event tonight over at the Venetian. It's arts and crafts. I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna do my workout and eat dinner, head over there, see what that's about. There's other things too. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I might just do 1 AWS event or party, whatever you call it, and then call it a day. Good morning. It is Thursday and it's the last day of reInvent. I have a couple more sessions. I am kind of getting tired of the sessions, to be honest. I think I've had, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 sessions. I got a couple more. It gets tiresome after a while. Now I'm on my way over to the Bellagio. Here's a couple photos. I'm here at the Bellagio. Absolutely exquisite casino. I mean, they just stepped it up like twice of any other casino. If you're ever here, this is the place to go and visit. Absolutely beautiful. The guy at the front desk told me this tree at the Bellagio cost $80,000 and they put it up every year. It's just wow. Here's a photo of Chihuahua art in the entryway of the Bellagio. Check out this deep learning applications with PiTorch. It's a 1-hour session. It's an expert level. Here's a description. Another SageMaker, deep learning, using BERT model, NLP, computer vision. So I think PiTorch is common or popular for computer vision. So it looks like we'll reduce training time from 20,000 plus models from 15 hours to 30 minutes. Just finished with the PiTorch session and it was really interesting. It's cool. If you see, let's look over here. They have what's called a live demo and you put on headsets because there's multiple sessions going on here, and then the person's talking in a microphone, which is then on your headset you can control. Anyway, yeah, we had 2 Facebook engineers and a VP of engineering from Freshworks, and they told us how they use PiTorch, the new features of PiTorch, some code demos, which was really useful. And PiTorch, if you're not aware, is an image recognition release for Python, and so they talked about the new features. All right, it was a pretty quick session, only 45 minutes, but I enjoyed it. All right, see you in the next one. Here's a couple photos on my way over to the Aria Casino. This is the last event for reInvent. It is a workshop and it's building IoT with machine learning. What a surprise, more ML. So we have, this one's in advance, we have 2 speakers, hands-on. Basically it's going to be covering tools for IoT, Kinesis, Data Firehose, and Kibana. Building end-to-end solutions with serverless for IoT devices. Hopefully it's going to be good. I was finished up with the last workshop for IoT, and it was pretty tough. It was over 2 hours. I ended up going the entire time. And it's a GitHub project that I can share, that anybody can do. And basically we learned about IoT, Kinesis, data streaming, and then something, excuse me, construction going on. Kinesis and creating Lambda functions. So it was really comprehensive. I took the full time. It was like 90 pages of README, but it was really good step-by-step instructions. There wasn't any code in this one, but if you want to know those tools, IoT, Kinesis, and Lambda functions, that's the way to go. You learn the ins and outs of it. All right, that's it. That's my last session here at reInvent. Got one more. I'm gonna probably check out the replay. It's the last event from 8 to midnight on Thursday. I'm gonna go check that out, so I'll probably give you a preview of that, and then I'm headed back tomorrow. It's been fun, it's been real, and it has been real fun. In case you were wondering, here's a preview or a glimpse. Oh, it's bright. A glimpse of the replay, the final party. It's huge, massive. I haven't even gone to every place. They give us a map. It's like a mini amusement park. Anyway, I'm not sure what's gonna go on. Maybe I'll go check it out and then show you what the best of the best is. More like this, I won't even gotta try. bounce house back there, broom ball, some kind of light game over there. This is what nearly 60,000 people in a small place looks like. Finally, I'm on my way home. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been to reInvent, please comment on some of your best experiences or classes. If you haven't and you have questions, let me know those as well. And hopefully I'll see you in the next reInvent. Cheers.